Kara Matthews, a hardworking waitress at Benny's Diner, never expected her quiet life to be disrupted. But one rainy night, a billionaire witnessed her kindness, sparking an obsession that would change everything. Unbeknownst to her, the man, watching from across the street, had plans that would alter her fate forever. Kara Matthews was a young woman with aspirations that extended far beyond her humble life. At just 23 years old, she worked long hours at Benny's Diner, a quaint but worn-down eatery in the heart of Chicago. The peeling paint on the walls and the faded open sign outside seemed to reflect her struggles, yet Kara always greeted her customers with a warm smile. She had a unique gift, not just for serving food, but for making people feel valued and seen. Despite the long hours and low pay, Kara had a ritual that set her apart. Every night after her shift, she would collect leftover food from the diner and share it with the homeless people she passed on her walk home. To her, it was a simple gesture, but for those she helped, it meant everything. One particularly cold evening, rain pelted the streets, soaking the city in a miserable downpour. Kara hurried home, clutching her thin coat tight against the chill. As she passed a bus stop shelter, she noticed a small figure huddled in the corner. A young boy, no older than 8, shivering in the storm. His clothes were drenched. Kara's heart went out to him and she knelt down, her voice soft. "Hey there, are you all right? Where are your parents?" she asked gently. The boy looked up at her, his face pale with fear. "I don't have anyone," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "I'm hungry." Without a second thought, Kara took his hand and led him back to the diner. The rain soaked them both, but Kara didn't mind. Inside, she wrapped the boy in a warm blanket and served him a bowl of hot soup. As he ate, his face lit up, and for the first time that night, Kara felt warmth spread in her chest despite the freezing cold outside. What Kara didn't know was that someone had been watching her across the street. A sleek black car was parked, just out of sight, its engine idling softly. Inside sat Ethan Davis, a billionaire entrepreneur known for his cold, calculated business strategies. He had been driving through the area after a long, stressful day, hoping the quiet streets would clear his mind. But when he saw her, his curiosity was piqued. At first, it was just a moment of curiosity. Why was a young woman out in the rain, kneeling beside a homeless boy? But as he watched Kara lead the boy into the diner and take care of him, he couldn't tear his eyes away. Her actions were so genuine, so selfless, that they stirred something deep within him. "Who is she?" Ethan murmured to himself. His gaze locked on the diner. For the first time in years, he felt something he couldn't explain, a sense of admiration and wonder. He scribbled down the name of the diner before driving away, though the image of Kara stayed with him long after he returned to his luxurious penthouse. The next few days were a blur for Kara. Between double shifts at the diner and taking care of her younger sister, who depended on her to pay for school fees, she barely had time to think about the boy she had helped. But his smile lingered in her mind, giving her strength to push through the exhaustion. Meanwhile, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about the waitress. Despite having everything money could buy, he couldn't shake the image of her in the rain, offering warmth and kindness to someone who had nothing. It wasn't just her actions that captivated him. It was the purity of her heart. He knew he had to learn more about her. One evening, Ethan made a decision. Dressed in a perfectly tailored suit that seemed out of place for a diner, he walked through the door of Benny's Diner. The bell above the door jingled softly, drawing Kara's attention. She was balancing a tray of plates, her hair slightly frizzy from the humidity, but her smile remained as radiant as ever. Ethan froze for a moment, struck by the familiarity of her face. Kara greeted him with the same warmth she offered all her customers. "Welcome to Benny's. Please have a seat anywhere you like," she said cheerfully. Ethan chose a corner booth, his eyes following her every move. Kara treated every customer with the same kindness, whether she was helping an elderly man count his change, offering a struggling mother a free coffee refill, or checking in on a regular who seemed unusually quiet. Every interaction confirmed what Ethan already knew. This woman was extraordinary, When his meal was finished, Ethan handed Kara the bill without saying much, but as he left, he slipped an envelope under his plate. Kara didn't notice it until she went to clear the table. Inside was a stack of crisp bills, far more than a normal tip. Her hands trembled as she counted the money, her mind racing with questions. She rushed outside, searching for the mysterious man, but he was already gone. The sleek black car she had seen earlier was nowhere in sight. That night, Kara couldn't stop wondering who he was and why he had left such a generous tip. The next morning, the diner was buzzing with activity. Kara tied on her apron and began her shift, unaware of how drastically her life was about to change. Her thoughts briefly wandered to the homeless boy she had helped, but she quickly refocused on the customers filing in for breakfast. Around midday, the restaurant's door swung open, and a tall, sharply dressed man entered. His polished shoes and tailored suit stood out among the casual diners. Kara didn't notice him at first, as she was busy taking an elderly couple's order. But when the hostess whispered that the gentleman had asked for her to be his server, Kara glanced up in surprise. She didn't recognize him immediately, but when their eyes met, an inexplicable sense of familiarity tugged at her. The man smiled, warmly, his gaze lingering on her. It was as if he were studying her, though he said nothing. Kara approached his table with her notepad and pen in hand, offering her usual friendly greeting. "Good afternoon. What can I get you today?" she asked. The man hesitated for a moment before replying. "I'll have the special of the day," he said, handing her the menu. "But only if you promise to take a break and join me for coffee later." Kara blinked, caught off guard. "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't usually take breaks during my shift. Is there anything else you'd like with your order?" she asked, trying to stay professional. The man chuckled. "Just the special for now," he replied. As Kara walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was something different about him. It was as if he knew her, but chose not to acknowledge it. As the meal progressed, the man observed Kara closely. He saw how she treated every customer with patience and kindness, no matter how busy or stressful the shift became. It was clear to him that Kara Matthews was no ordinary woman. There was something about her that pulled at his heart, and he knew he had to find out more. Kara, meanwhile, continued to serve the other diners, her mind racing with thoughts of the strange man at her table. Little did she know that this was just the beginning of a journey that would change both of their lives forever. In the end, Kara discovered that sometimes life has a way of changing when you least expect it. What began as a small act of kindness led to a transformation that challenged everything she thought she knew about love, ambition, and the power of second chances. The billionaire, once a stranger, became an integral part of her story, proving that even the most ordinary lives can be touched by extraordinary events. Kara's journey wasn't just about changing her future. It was about discovering the strength within herself to embrace the unknown. And as she took that first step into a new chapter, one thing was certain: her life would never be the same again. If you've enjoyed this tale, be sure to subscribe and join us for more exciting journeys, unexpected twists, and unforgettable characters. Don't miss out. Subscribe now to enjoy more of our captivating stories.